Good evening, ladies, gentlefers, and my lovely NBs. We're here live at Shawstake Stadium here in Bangor for the 2024 All-Star Week, where we get a chance to see the Rookie Challenge. My name is Marcus Baylor, and to my right is Ryan Eastman. How are you doing, dude?
Doing excellent, doing excellent. We're having a great time here in Bangor. Uh, been a few years, I think, since I've been here. I think the finals were the last time I got to enjoy the stadium.
Yeah, for sure. And it has been a great uh time for us as we seeing a lot of these all-stars getting an opportunity to show their stuff, whether it's through the dunk contest or the three-point contest. It's been a stellar all-star week this year, and Bangor has been an amazing host.
Yep, and tonight will be the Rookie Challenge. Tomorrow, the All Star game, and that'll wrap it up here for us. But first we got to get through this rookie game. Kind of a mid-season check-in for these rookies. We saw them compete against each other before the season started, and now we're getting to see them do it again in a little bit more friendly of an environment.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, this is really just trying to continue to show their stuff throughout this game, and really trying to see the future as we see a plenty of players who have really found their footing, whether it's already starting from the jump, like a Fiorella Lopez or an Obendorfer, or just being able to have an opportunity to show what they could do in the near future, as some of the players who have been on the bench for their respective teams gets to start here.
Yep, and I think the players are already ready to take the court, so we'll jump on down live.
Yeah, we do, and we go ahead and get this rookie challenge underway as the West ends up winning the tip-off here.
Not too surprising with Oakland being the one to do the jump at 7-9. You'd kind of expect her to win the tip off.
Yeah, and right there, Brandon Baylor not going to be able to make that first basket, so the East have a chance to possibly take the lead. But as I say that, Lopez showing her paws right there to be able to get that strip. But the fast break points are not going to go down this time as Linwood gets the rock.
And we just saw Linwood in a sports den. Obviously, Plymouth versus Williamsburg. Didn't have a great showing in that game and blocked here immediately.
Yeah, great block there for the big owl. Really a very defensive effort going here as Obendorfer is able to lay it up and in and getting the first basket of the game.
And they're going to have to stretch the perimeter with her guarding the post. I mean, when, Brandon at 7'3" is small, you have a bigger concern in the post.
Yeah, I think the post is going to be very tough to really get any sort of baskets or trying to get stopped there. So relying on the paint will not be surprising there for the Western side. But of course, the East not going to go ahead and go out without a fight as they tie it up to a piece.
Yeah, and that was Linwood getting a little separation there from mid-range.
Yeah, now we get a variety of passing here on the West as Foley hands it over to Fiorella Lopez, who goes for three, but is not going to get it. But Baylor ends up getting a chance to go for two there after getting the rebound.
Yeah, fouled on the way up. Chance or two from the line.
And Brandon really having the opportunity to show his free throws as he makes those two. So the West will be up by two with about 10 minutes left in the first quarter as Kamalu hands it back over to Francois. Francois get a nice pass over to Kamali, and Kamali is not going to be able to get that one down as Oberdorfer gets the easy rebound.
Yeah, you have to imagine Angel and Category, at home for this All-Star game, must feel comfortable being in front. I'm sure lots of fans in the crowd are here to see their hometown players represented here.
Yeah, for sure, and really trying to be able to kind of give them a glimpse of what the future would be like if they end up being a long-term answer for Bangor, as we do see a quick basket there for the East. It's Tanya Linwood kind of relying a little bit within the three-point line, as both teams have yet to score from behind the arc.
Well, if it's too dangerous to go into the paint, mid-range is not a bad option either.
No, for sure. And speaking of, Baylor going for a tough mid-range shot himself, but it's not going to go down. Now Francois having to pull it back a little bit. Hands it over to Carter. He's trying to find some kind of lane, but it's being guarded very well in there. Instead, dishes it out to Kataguri, who goes for a desperation three, and it hits the side of the rim as the Owl is able to pick it up. And speaking of trying to get a nice dish, but makes her own miss, Oberndorfer. So right now, the paint has been really kind of been the bread and butter, as Oberndorfer and Baylor has scored all of the points for the West. Now Kamalo trying to go for mid-range there, but it's no good. So right now, it seems like the East is struggling to try to find some kind of answer within the paint, as Fiorella tries to lay it up, but it's no good. But Oberndorfer once again with another rebound, giving the West another chance. And as I say that, we see a 3-off-second violation there, so it will be a turnover.
Yeah, and you're going to see some kind of sloppy turnovers here. You know, these rookies most of them aren't playing together, so the flow of the game and what's going on is not always going to be perfectly lined up, as we see an and one opportunity.
Yep, Kataguri able to get the old school three-point play as is successful. And of course, as we talk about this, we do cut the deficit down to just 1, 8-7, with about half of the time left in the first quarter. Right now, Fiorella was looking for a three, but opts out against it, hands it over to Brandon. Lots of passing over for the West, but they have to make something out of this, as Brandon going for another tough shot, and it's not going to be good, but Brandon does get the rebound, but his pass steps out of bounds there.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to call it getting a rebound. I think he was still trying to wrangle it in there and just stepped out.
Yeah, right now, Brandon having a bit of a tough time trying to get some kind of baskets, getting guarded very well within the paint. But right now, the East have a chance to take the lead here, and we get a quick foul there by Oberndorfer for a reach-in. So the possession will stay on the East. So far, very slow-paced game between these two. They try to go ahead and try and warm each other up. It's Francois trying to go to a finger roll, and it's good.
East taking their first lead here.
Yep, first lead of the game. We'll see how the West responds after not having a very good hit on the end, and it's going to continue there as Kataguri gets the steal from Brandon. Kataguri is really pretty much handling this very well, but of course, we see another turnover there, and the West will be able to catch a little bit of a break here, as it will be their ball. So right now, we're trying to see things await as Lopez going for the first three, and it's good. Fiorella, very well known for her three-point ability, and she has showed it right there, making the first three of this game.
And pulling the West back up by 2. Let's see if the three-point game becomes the go-to for the West.
Yeah, for sure. And that's going to be another turnover there as Foley picks it up. All right, now Foley trying to take it coast to coast, but gets fouled there by Linwood. So we will see 2 free throws coming up for the West. And I'm going to say a lot of action going on. A little bit of a sloppy play in the early goings of this quarter here. But, I mean, with the fact that they're not really used to each other, it's not too much of a surprise.
No, and the fouls are getting called pretty, I don't want to say the refs are happy with their whistles, but they're definitely not letting them here tonight get away with any kind of contact.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, considering the fact this is All-Star Weekend, we want to make sure that there are no injuries if possible. Because any injury, especially when it's supposed to be like some time or fun, like that one,
Ooh.
category flying with that easy dunk is cutting the deficit down to 2, 13-11. But yeah, so I can't really blame the refs trying to be a little bit whistle happy since, this game is supposed to be just for fun as Glitterpaw almost loses it there, but it ends up being East ball there as Lopez had her paws on the line. I
Yeah,
mean,
the
we'll see some
defense.
substitutions as well.
I say the defense was about to strip it, so she tried to yank away and stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, now we are seeing some of the second unit for both sides come in. As right now we see a nice little lay-in as they tie it up 13 apiece. And now we're seeing if the West can be able to answer right back with a finger roll. So now Alex is bringing it up for the east side. Quick pass over to Violet. Violet trying to go for a finger roll, and it's good. So as soon as all the bigs started get to go on the bench, now we're seeing a lot of offense going in within the paint. And as I say that, Glitterpaws ends up losing it, and now the East have a chance to try to take this lead, and it's good.
Yeah, some speed now coming off the bench is picking up the pace of play here for both sides.
Yeah, and considering that this year's draft was heavy on the big first side, it's no surprise that some of the players coming off the bench is going to bring a different kind of energy here within here. But now, as Fasu hands it over to Parker Smith. Parker trying to go for a tough basket. It's not going to go down, but Fasu is able to go ahead and clean things up and tie it back up once again, 17 apiece.
Yeah, now it really has been a post game, like you said, only 139 category, just standing alone in the paint there.
Yeah, Kataguri doing a little bit of everything. She's been a very big player for the East. But now Amato trying to lay it up, but gets fouled hard by Kataguri, and that'll be her second personal of this game. So we'll see 2 free throws going for the West side. Amato will make the first. As we now see the rest of the Western starters getting a chance to get some rest. And the second one will go down here. So, with just under 4 minutes left, we're tied 19 apiece. We'll see if either of these teams get some kind of separation as the game goes on. Right now, you see Winchester hands it over to Alex. Alex loses the ball, though, to Parker Smith. And now the West trying to take the lead right back, but it's not going to go down this time as Winchester does get this rebound.
Yeah, and that's going to be the problem with these fast plays is, they're not really developing anything. They're just relying on speed. Little spin move there into the paint is good, though.
Yeah, very difficult shot being made there, but it's going to be good. So the East really starting to kind of control the pacing a little bit here within this game since the second unit came in.
Even
and Parker
though
Smith had a very bad size advantage on that one, getting blocked very easily trying to use that paint. But now Winchester trying to lay it up, and it's not going to be good this time. Let's get a quick rebound there.
Yeah, Parker Smith trying to use her speed there to get by, and that's you have to actually get by the defender before you can shoot. As
Yeah,
Wolfgang does.
Yeah, Wolfgang almost losing the ball that time, but will make the basket. And I guess that really kind of shows being careful, trying to drive recklessly within the paint. And right now, Alvaro trying to lay it up, but it's not going to be good. Now Wolfgang Once again, trying to get into the paint, but it pans over to Sabathia, and it's not going to be good this time. So right now, both teams really trying to strike within the paint, and
Ooh.
Winchester is able to get a nice dunk after a sweet dish within the paint.
I think some of the rookies got excited by the dunk contest last night and are showing off a bit here.
Yeah, right now, Wolfgang trying to go for three, and it's good. Second three of the night within this game, and now the West is up by 1, 24-23, with a minute and a half left in the first quarter.
Yeah, first three for the West there, I believe.
I think it's the second because Lopez made one
Oh,
earlier.
that's right. That's right.
But right now, the East not able to take the lead with that basket. And now Amato side hands it back over to Smith. He's slowly trying to let the play develop a little bit. Probably come go for the screen. Does find a way to get into the paint, lays it up, and it's good. Parker Smith really utilizing that screen and her speed to be able to get that basket. And now the West has a 3-point lead within the first quarter with just under a minute left. As Hodgson hands it over to Alex. Alex passes it over to Violet. And right now, getting the mid-ranger to go down. So right now, both teams going back and forth within this game. There really hasn't been any kind of legitimate separation, which is pretty good for these two teams. As we see Wolfgang pass it over to Sabathia, who hands it over to Amato. Lots of passing so far for the West once again. And Wolfgang gonna go for a desperation three, and it's good. Okay, I want to say.
Is it desperation if he makes it?
I mean, you know, with only 1 second left in the shot clock, you gotta have to just put it up there, and it was able to go down this time. And Winchester going for three herself,
Ooh.
And it's good.
Couple threes to end this quarter.
Yeah, might be a little bit of a some 3-point contest right there. So right now, the East is only going to be down by 1 as we start the second quarter. And what is your takeaway so far in this game as we get into the nitty gritty of this one?
I mean, nothing's really stood out too much for me. I think they started out attacking the post, and both teams really picked it up when the bench came in, honestly.
Yeah, and a really huge block there for Oberdorfer, but gets called for the foul as her wings did touch the arm of Hodgson. And Hodgson is going to make the first one, tying things up. And the second one will rattle home, so the East will take the lead at the start of the second quarter. And I will have to agree with you there that both teams have been pretty uptight, trying to utilize the paint, as we do see here as Oberdorfer once again laying it up and in after having another second chance opportunity. I think that's kind of the big thing, is that the Big Owl is having anything that she wants.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen big blocks coming out on both sides, but the Owl is definitely a problem for the East trying to get down there in the post.
Yeah, for sure. And as we see quite a few lead changes, and the biggest lead that we've seen so far has been 4. So both teams really going toe-to-toe here, as Wolfgang will have an opportunity to go for a jump ball as Alex tied up with Wolfgang. So we'll see the two Furs try to go for this tip in, and the East will end up winning it.
Oh, immediate reach-in foul on Wolfgang. Got a little frustrated there, missing out on the jump ball.
I mean, yeah, I can understand the frustrations, but, you know, you don't need to really try to go aggressive with that one. But we will see some substitutions in here, as right now, Kwati pass it over to Carter. Carter, wide one for 3, but it's not going to go down there as Fenton gets the board. Fenton hands it over to Lopez. Lopez trying to lay it up, and it's good. So far, both teams really trying to keep a tight knit. There have been mistakes on both sides, but not a lot of capitalization between both of these teams to really kind of make some separation. And right now, Alex going for a long two, and it's good. And right now, perfect.
Well, I was to say both teams have kept it close. I think the largest lead we've seen is 6 points, maybe 7.
Yeah, it hasn't really been much of a cushion, if at all, really. And both teams trying to get something going as we see a quick mid-range. Not going to go down this time. So the East has a chance to expand this lead to possibly 3 points. And
Woo!
that will be the case with Kataguri slamming it down. And Kataguri really has been one of the stars for the East, as we've really called her name quite often. And right now, Kelly pulling it back a little bit and tried to pass it, but will hit the defender's leg there. So it will stay on the west end, but with not a lot of time left on the shot clock. And right now, Fenton hands it over to Glitterpaw. A lot of passing here as Glitterpaw hands it over. Kelly goes for 3, and it's good. And right now, the West tying things up 36 apiece with about 9 minutes left in the first half. And both teams are just not going to give any opportunity for any sort of cushion being made, as Oberdorfer will be called for the 3rd personal. And that could be a little bit of a concern since we're only 3 minutes into the second quarter.
I mean, it's the rookie all-star game.
Look, I mean, I would imagine they want to play as long as possible, just be a huge representative for their respective teams. But of course, with that 3rd foul, Oberdorfer will be going on the bench for a little bit, as Brandon will probably take the center position for a little while, as both free throws do go down for the East. And both teams are perfect from the free throw line, so that's a good sign for both sides, as we see another miss there in the paint by Lopez, I believe. So the East has a chance to probably expand this up to 4. And they will do just that with the basket, with that basket. So they're up by 4, 40-36. And you can really see the big field goal percentage with how much they've utilized the paint. 65% for field goal percentage.
Yeah, but it's been the turnovers that have kept it close. And the free throw trips as well, I feel like. Is Glitterpaw
sure.
fading away, able to convert.
Yeah, Glitterpaw's showing her strut there with that mid-range. And they do cut the deficit down to 2. All right, now Kataguri hands it over to Linwood. Linwood lays it up, and it's good. So far, the East really utilizing that paint quite often. And we see another 3-second violation. So it will be another turnover, as the East will go ahead and take over. And those kind of mistakes you don't really want to see, but we're going to have to hope that they see if the East will try to utilize this to their advantage. We get a quick screen.
Alley-oop!
Trying to use the tip, and it's Kataguri slamming it down.
Showing off for the home crowd fans that turned up tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And they were really calling for that one. As now the East getting a little bit of fan favorite as Lopez tries to go for 3, and it's good. Fiorella making it rain right there, making sure to shush the crowd with that one. And now we see a quick layup, and it's good. So right now, Linwood doing a very good job trying to utilize the paint when the lanes are available. And now we see Lopez going for a three and gets
Oh,
fouled on the line. So with that miss, it will be 3 free throws for Fiorella. And that's not something you really want to do when you are defending beyond the arc.
so
But the
Marcus,
first one gets missed.
I was gonna say, is this if the old school 3-point play? Is this the new school 3-point play?
I mean, I assume so. I mean, it's very rare you see fouls being made on the 3-point line. I mean, once again, these guys are rookies, so mistakes are more prominent within these games. As the second one does get made, but I guess you can call this the modern-ish 3-point play. um, But 2 out of 3 are going to be made here, so the West will be down by 1 possession now. As we're about 6.5 minutes left of this first half. And, of course, that was going to get made very quickly for the East, as they're now once again back up 2 possessions. Right now, Fiorella trying to find some kind of answer, but hands it over to Brandon. Lots of passing along the 3-point line. And right now, Fenton, once again, trying to get into the paint, but loses the ball there to Linwood. And now the East has the opportunity to once again try and make some kind of expansion to possibly the largest lead of the game with the next basket. This category is getting double teamed, it looks like. Hands it over to Linwood. Linwood going for a tough 2, and it's not going to be good.
Yeah, that was a double team on, like I said, category. She's been showing up here, and the West is not happy, and they're trying to shut her down.
Yeah, and Fenton going for 3, and it's going to be rattled in and out as Category gets the rebound. Trying to get a quick spin move over on the East, and it's no good, but Collins does. Oh, I thought Collins had the rebound, but instead Foley makes sure to swipe it off of her pause as Fenton lays it up. Not going to be good this time as Linwood once again gets the rock. And right now the pace has gone up pretty big as Category's able to lay it up, and it's good. To the East now have the largest lead of the game with 7, as we got less than 5 minutes left of the first half.
And
right
already
now the West least.
Oh, I was saying already crossed the 50-point mark for the East as well.
Yeah, but the West isn't too far behind as that basket was made. And now Category, who has really shown up this All-Star game, and hands it off. And right now Collins getting defended very well as she tries to go for a shot, but ends up handing it over to Category, and Category has to go for a desperate shot, and it's not going to be good. So right now, the West trying to cut the deficit down, but gets blocked there. I believe that was by Linwood as well. So very good defensive effort there. And right now, Category going for the alley-oop layup. And right now, the East is just in full control so far within this game. And we get a quick timeout from the West. First timeout of this game, and it really was needed there, as the West really have lost all kinds of momentum.
Yeah, the East have definitely been a bit more active on both sides of the court, it seems, here in the second quarter, and it's showing in the score right now. As the West really hasn't picked it up from the first. I feel like their field goal percentage has stayed roughly the same.
Yeah, for sure. And right now, the West will have to utilize some of their bench players here to try to get something going, as Foley tries to go for a tough shot, but it will go in. So that's a good way to try and get the momentum going.
Well, they got to shut it down on defense. And, we talked about Oakland having to sit. Ooh, ball almost stripped there.
Yeah, but right now, Alvaro going for a mid-ranger, and he is able to get it down. as Seven gets charged with the first personal. So Alvaro will go on the line for the extra 3-point play, but that's not going to happen with that one as he missed it. And Parker Smith is able to go ahead and answer right back. So we are now once again back down to a 5-point lead for the East as it's 54-49 with about 3 minutes left in the first half. We'll see if the East tries to expand on it. And it looks like there was an alley-oop attempt, but it was some miscommunication there. So the West might have a free possession here, and we'll see what they make of it.
I don't know whether or not the stat keeper should count that as a missed shot or as a turnover, because there was no one around when that ball got launched into the air.
Yeah, and the West will able to take advantage of that missed opportunity, whatever you want to call it, and they cut the deficit down to 3. And right now we're seeing some great defense there from the West. And now Foley trying to go coast to coast, but gets blocked there. But Sabathia able to go ahead and lay it up and in.
And back to a 1-point game here after really quick possessions by the West. You know, they're turning up the tempo, and they're outrunning the East back on defense.
Yeah, right now we're going for a good 3 there, as they're now up by 2 possessions. And I gotta say, the West, one of the big things is that they have taken advantage of a lot of turnovers and some unforced turnovers at that as well. And that's something that can really come into play with these young players.
Ooh, good little dive down there in the post for Parker Smith, and able to get the finger roll despite the defender's honor.
Yeah, really getting collapsed there and showing a lot of poise with that possession. There's now Violet. Hands it over to Francois. Francois trying to lay it up, and it's good.
Both teams starting to build up the score here as the first half is looking to come to a close with under 70 seconds left to go. Might break 60 here for the East if they get a good possession, and it's Wolfgang unable to convert his third 3-point attempt.
Yeah, and Francois is looking to try and do just that, trying to go for a pop-up, and it's good. So, the East are able to break 60 as once again the field goal percentage is just off the charts for the East. Nearly 70%. And right now the West trying to stay in pace, and they will go on the line for 2 free throws there. And we'll see if they'll take advantage on the charity stripe, as Foley is looking to make his first basket, and he will do just that. And the second one is going to be good. So while the West are down by 2 possessions, they are trying to make sure that they stay within it, and they will have the chance to have the ball last in this first half, and they might have a chance to cut the deficit down to 2, maybe even 1 with a 3 here.
Yeah, but because of how quickly the East shot there, the West will have to give the ball back to the East for the final possession, but they need to make this one count.
Yeah, but they will drain as much of the clock as they can before shooting it, as we see a lot of passing as Parker Smith goes for 3, and it's good.
Phew, extremely difficult, the defense coming flying in like that.
Yeah, and now both teams have broke the 60-point mark, as right now we're seeing a final shot going over to the East, but it's not going to be good. So at the end of 1, we are going to be the East leading 61-60. And we certainly saw things picked up in the second quarter as both teams really kind of picked up the pace here.
And I mean, honestly, the West with that final 3, pulling it back within 1, showing they're not willing to let the East build a significant lead.
Yeah, for sure. And like they said, the largest lead has been 7 so far within this game. As we go ahead and look at the stats, this category, man, it's just having a star-studded performance there. 15 points, 7 for 10 as well. And everybody else really kind of showing their stuff too, as Linwood and Francois and Violet has like 8 to 9 points as well, and very efficient scoring for the Eastern All Stars.
And everyone's getting a bit of a chance to play here tonight. Uh, you know, hopefully everyone gets at least one bucket scored that they can
Yeah,
that their parents can be proud of.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like with the rookie challenge, there's a lot. It's a little bit less of a pool compared to the All Stars. So for some of these players, this might be their only shot to be able to be in this kind of environment, and they want to make the most of it. As we go over to the Western stats, as Fiorella Lopez making a couple of 3-pointers, being the uh, I believe the sole player with double digits so far for the West.
I believe so. I'm trying to think. Wolfgang might be 10 as well, just because of the 2 threes and I think another basket. Parker very close actually to double digits, 9 points.
Yep. And I think one of the big things is Orbendorfer, well, she has made a significant impact. The foul trouble that she's had early on in the game really kind of pretty much have her be fully rested until the second half. So I imagine that she'll be able to start for a little bit. Hopefully that she'll clean things up as the game goes on, because it'd be unfortunate to to foul out on the rookie challenge.
It would be. I mean, just another badge you can wear, an accolade you could claim, perhaps.
I mean, I don't know if that's an accolade that I would want on my resume, but it's each their own. But
Hey,
right now,
you're telling everyone else that you don't care. You're gonna play hard, even in a completely meaningless game.
yeah, sure. We'll go with that. We see another situation where a foul was made, but it will stay on the East side as we get things going here in the second half. As the East are looking to try and expand this lead, and it's not going to be the case. As Oberdorfer tries to take it, and Oberdorfer gets her 4th foul, but they will keep her in. It looks like. So hopefully that was just a little bit of a mistake on her end, but we'll see how things go.
Obendorfer is in my camp of arguing that you should play hard 100% of the time. Clearly.
Yes, of course. And right now, Katagori being able to clean up the miss, as the East are now up by 3, 63-60.
She's a demon. What do you expect?
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, she's representing the demons well in this case, but Fiorella trying to lay it up, but it's not going to be good. Some great defense there by Linwood. And now Linwood trying to get into the paint, but Lopez trying her best to defend her. And right now we're seeing a lot of passing there for the East as Carter ends up with it. Carter going for a mid-ranger. And it's good. Very long-range mid-ranger, I
No,
would
it's
say.
not good. It didn't go.
Oh, yeah, it's not good. Yeah. That's what
Marcus, are you okay over there? Have you been drinking?
No, I'm fine. I'm completely fine. This was my first mistake of this entire game. Why are you questioning that after like one tiny mistake?
There's a big difference. If you were a ref and you called that good, you would be roasted.
Look, I forgot. Look,
You forgot how to
put my-
words.
No, I forgot my glasses. Maybe I'm a little blind. I'm not as young as I used to be.
Those refs are older than you.
Okay, but that doesn't mean they haven't played as hard as I did when I was in the game. And right now, as you're saying, Linwood gets to lay it up and in as he expand the lead to 3. But in any case, we're seeing that the East are doing a very good job trying to stay ahead, as Orbendorfer does draw the foul on Kumalo. So Oberndorfer will have a chance for an old school 3-point play. And she was able to do just that with that basket. So now we're all tied up 65 apiece. We'll see if that lasts long as the East are looking to continue to try and at least stay ahead of the game.
Ooh, a blind over the head
Ooh.
pass. Very risky. That could have easily gone into the fans had it been a little mistimed.
Well, this is an all-star game at the end of the day, so we're going to see some flashy plays here and there as Brandon has a wide open opportunity but will not get it down. As Carter throws it over, and Linwood is going to go get fouled by Kelly. So Linwood will go on the line for 2. And so far, the East having a chance to expand this to possibly a 2-possession games, depending on how these free throws go. And right now, we are seeing a little bit of the intensity stepping up here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but the field goal percentage has been dropping as they struggled to get the first couple baskets of this quarter going. I have to see when the bench comes back in if they keep that high tempo we saw in the second quarter.
Yeah, right now, Baylor getting blocked there. And it will be the West ball still, but the crowd is really hyped after that block. So now the West will have 14 seconds left of the shot clock since they still have the possession.
Ooh.
And another block has been made. Right now, the block party seems to be the East to control, as some very good defense there as Linwood trying to lay it up, and it's not going to be good though that time. Now Kelly pass it over to Lopez. Again, a lot of passing beyond the arc as Kelly hands it over to Fiorella. Fiorella has a little bit of a size advantage against a defender, but she's trying to find a way to get into the paint and will go ahead and take the mid-range shot as Fiorella with 12 points so far in this game.
Yeah, only like I said, only player I believe above double digits for the West here tonight so far.
Yeah, right now, Linwood trying to go for a quick shot up close to the basket and will get it down as Linwood started to really pick it up offensively as the game goes on. And Fiorella trying to make some moves on her own, but instead this is to Kelly going for a long 2, but it rattles in and out. And right now the East tried to get things going, but will not get that one down as Lopez does get the rebound. And now Kelly pass it over to Oberdorfer, and Oberdorfer is not going to get that lay-in. So right now, the West is struggling to get some points off the paint as Kataguri once again with another layup, and it's good.
Well, as you said, Oakland has to be a little mindful in the post because she can get called for offensive fouls if she's a little too aggressive throwing her body around down there. And, you know, Angel's not a tiny girl by any means either. So getting down low in the post is difficult. And Kataguri just outrunning the bear there, able to get the fast break opportunity. And she is 10 of 13 tonight, 21 points for her alone.
Yeah, Kataguri is really just taking advantage of Brandon this entire game. And right now, the East is just really taking advantage of that mismatch. It seems like a Kataguri lays it up, and it's good.
Well, they're taking advantage of missed opportunities. As you see, every shot the West has missed, Kataguri is sprinting down the court. And, you know, Brandon just can't stay in stride with her.
Yeah, the speed really becoming an answer here. As Brandon trying to lay it up, and he finally gets his first basket of the game. As, you know, really a lot of struggling against Kataguri here, and Kataguri has just really been able to go stride for stride here so far in this game.
A little bit of home court advantages. Linwood gets the alley-oop. Now a 10-point game for the East very quickly.
Yeah, the East with having the largest lead, and the West will have to take the second timeout of this game, and they really need to find some kind of way to counter the amount of speed that is going along with the East, because that's has been the biggest um weakness that the West seems to have so far in this game.
Well, I mean, Kataguri is a stretch center, power forward at 7 foot, but under 230 pounds. There's no one really on the West that has that size and that speed right now. I mean, Faso and Sabathia are both over 300 pounds, or just at 300 pounds.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the name of the game, with the fact that the size is becoming a factor, and that kind of like rare body type can be very difficult and really sneaky. Because while like some people would like to say that players with that height and that little weight could be seen as fragile, it has its advantages as well when it comes to athleticism as well. And we will see Kataguri get a chance to rest for a little bit, as the East is not going to go ahead and extend the lead up to 12. They will be an 11-point game. So we'll see if the West try and cut this down a little bit, as Sabathia will be able to try to make her own miss, but will not get that one down with another missed dunk, as Collins tried to go coast to coast. But Sabathia is able to stop that from happening. Now Wolfgang hands it over to Kelly. Kelly laid it up, and it's good.
Yeah, back to single digits, and right there, the field goal percentage, it has dropped a little bit for the East, but still 63%.
Yeah, and like even if it gone down a little bit, it's still like astronomical. It really shows that the paint has really been their best friend. But we get a quick block there from Sabathia, as they're trying everything to try and shut down any kind of offense within the paint for the East. And obviously the Bay Girl crowd screaming defense here, as Sabathia try to go for the mid-ranger, and it's not going to be good there.
And now, though, East immediately, not even 6 seconds into the shot clock, is taking a shot. That is full court sprint down the court for Collins to lay it up and in.
Yeah, speed is the name of the game for the East, and they are winning on that front. So the West needs to find some kind of answer. As Clitterpaws not able to get that one down, so the East can expand this lead even more. As Violet lays it up, will get the own miss, but gets blocked there.
Yeah, big block by Sabathia off the glass, sending it back out to be picked up. And, ooh, nice double clutch there, pulling it back down, letting the defender slide by for the layup. And, I mean, even in this half, you see the East shooting 50%, obviously lower than their first half, but still better than the West. And that's why their lead is growing ever so slowly.
Yeah, for sure. But the West is trying to pick things up on the defensive front within the paint, but they will need to utilize these baskets here, as it's going to be very important. Get a nice dish to Kelly in the paint, and he's able to lay it up and in.
Yeah, and you saw there, everyone fell back to the three-point line, even the center, forcing the defense to pull away. So it was just a one-on-one isolation play down in the post. But it's going to be Francois using speed, getting dished the ball. And, that's the other way of doing it, is getting so open because of running around and losing your defender that there's no one even to contest the shot.
Yeah, and speaking of contest, we got a nice block there. But the West is able to recover, but not a lot of time left on the shot clock, so they got to come up with a plan very quickly. All right, now Kelly pulling him back a little bit, getting the screen. Has to go for a tough two-pointer, and it's not going to be good, but Sabathia gets the rebound. Fenton goes for three, and it's good. Nothing but net on that one.
Yeah, good dish back out. Sabathia keeping an eye on the perimeter and saw Fenton wide open. Could have tried to put the ball back for two, but the three-pointer left that open. Is just so much better of a choice to make in that situation. Good basketball IQ.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a much-needed three here, as they do cut the deficit down to 6. Not a lot of time on the shot clock, but it doesn't matter, as the West will have to go for another timeout as they're down by 8.
Yeah, that was a good defensive showing. I mean, they could just were standing there trying to get something going, and forced to take a tough shot as the shot clock wound down, and it's gutting for the West to see it converted, but they did everything right there.
Yeah, and right now the West just trying to regroup a little bit after having the struggles that they've had. As right now, Fastball passes over to Foley. Foley gets blocked though from behind, but Winchester will get called for the foul. So Foley will go on the line for 2.
And less than 90 seconds left to go in this third quarter in the East. Had a 1-point lead coming into this quarter and might walk out of it, depending on how these free throws go in the last couple of possessions, with a double-digit lead. We've seen them get up to what, I believe 11 here?
Yeah, 11 or 12, and that's just kind of been the name of the game. It seems like the East just pretty much, made the adjustments that they needed to and realized that even though the West does have quite a bit of a size advantage, as a lot of the players on the West are around 7 foot for the most part. The speed for the team for the East has kind of been the big advantage here, as they have been able to get quite a bit of a cushion, and they could expand on it here. As Alex goes into the paint, this is over to Alvaro. Alvaro almost loses the ball there, but does pick it up and lay it up and in.
I don't know what you're talking about. Clearly, that was a design dribble between the legs.
Yes, that was very clearly a clean dribble, pull all the defenders, as Foley's able to go ahead and get that layup.
But it was good on Teo, and able to keep his wits about him as the shot clock was counting down to get the ball back and pull it up for a good shot like that. And 3 possessions in less than 30 seconds here. Speed is the name of the game for both teams right now.
Yeah, right now the West is trying their best to at least keep a manageable deficit, and Winchester almost taking that steal there, but Foley able to get his paws on it first, laying it up, and it's good. So the West only down by 2 possessions, but we'll see if that changes, as the East will have the last possession this quarter, as we might see an ISO situation here. Going for a tough shot, but gets fouled there by Fasuo. So we will see some free throws before the end of this quarter.
Hey, we have a chance for a half-court shot here, possibly, with 5 seconds left.
I mean,
we just saw one.
Yeah, you did saw one. Very envious of that.
Yeah.
We'll see if we see a 3-quarter. No, Foley going to go for a 3-pointer, and it's not going to be good. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter. So very good full court pass there, but not able to take advantage there, as Foley misses that one.
Yeah, and I mean, an open look too from the corner, but had to catch and shoot in. Just not enough time for the defender to get the offensive rebound to be put back. But with that, a 8-point game here, the East managed to extend it by 7, and now it's on the West to see if they can't whittle it away with the last 12 minutes of this quarter.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing they're going to have to do is try and see if they can slow the pace down, because that seems to be like a detriment. But they are able to get that basket to cut the deficit down to 6, as Foley doing a really good job so far this All-Star game.
Yeah, and I think actually making their shots will be a big difference, because it's been almost every missed shot has turned into a fast break opportunity. And either they need to pull someone back and be ready for the transitional defense. And, ooh, a good fight to the paint there.
Yeah, and it seems like so far both teams are taking a bit of a slower route this quarter. But you are correct that they need to be able to make sure those baskets are made, and they will do with this. As Parker Smith will be able to find an open spot for that one, as the West doing so good so far offensively, but they do need to get a stop here defensively if they want to go ahead and really cut down this cushion a little bit.
Thankfully that wasn't open door for that was Amato trying to reach in and cheetah getting called with the too aggressive pause.
Yeah, for sure. But speaking of, we are seeing some substitutions here within the game. As right now, Category once again going up against Brandon. And really, Category has been pretty much the better of the two this game. And right now, Carter trying to go for a long two, and it's going to go in and out. And Category's able to get the ball away from Baylor, going for the easy dunk. And again, that matchup seems to be like a detriment so far in this game.
Yeah, she just slipped around the bear and had better position on that rebound and threw it back down with some authority despite her, not having the same kind of weight. But Amato, not willing to blink, answers back with a quick bucket of his own.
Yeah, and right now, Alex hands it over to Category once again. We'll see if Category once again uses that athleticism to get by, but it's not going to go down this time as Brandon does get the rebound.
Lopez. I want to see some more threes from the West. I feel like obviously Fenton missing that last one in the quarter would have been great if it had fallen, but you know, get some post play going, get the wide open looks from beyond the arc, and close this lead as Obendorfer
Yep.
battling is able to convert.
Yeah, and that's probably another player we're going to have to look at is Orbendorfer, who has been relatively quiet throughout the game, but that has to go tie into the amount of fouls that she has as well.
Hey, she has 10 points now as Katakuri gets dished the ball. That ball may have been nutmegged between a defender to get to her.
Yeah, and right now they're just taking all kinds of advantages here as Category has just really been the star so far in this game as Oberndorfer. Going for a quick shot, but it's not going to be good as Kumalo ends up with the rock.
Now it's Alex squared on the perimeter.
Yeah, and right now, see the Linwood way behind the arc, but finds a way to get into the paint, plays it out, and it's dunk. It felt like slow motion with the way that she was moving on that one, but it doesn't matter. It ended with ferocity there. And now the East hitting the century mark with about 8.5 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, and it's getting harder and harder for the West to break. I mean, they're getting buckets, and in this case, going to go to the line for two as Kataguri gets her third. But, with how consistently the East has been able to score, it's like climbing a mountain that keeps growing. They're not catching any breaks here.
No, not at all. And that's kind of been one of the big things is Brandon will go on the line. As Brandon not having the best game as the first one will be missed here. So right now it seems like a lot of the bigs on the West seems pretty startled within this game. So they do need to find a way to clean things up as we are really getting into the crunch time moments as Brandon will get the second one.
Now they need a defensive stop is really what they need.
Yeah, for sure. And considering how the East have been doing whatever they can within the paint, as pretty much this is an example, but Baylor does get the block though, stopping that second chance opportunity from getting made. But Amato ends up losing the ball to Carter.
Yeah, a little too panicky on the fast break and trying to force it in, and Baylor falls for the pump fake from Linwood, and she's able to make the second effort work despite the paw in her face. Back to 9 here.
Yeah, so right now they're trying to see if they get something as Foley laying it up and Foley doing a really good representation there for the Arctics with that basket. As we look at the field goal percentage, once again, the disparity, over 10% difference between both of these teams. And Kataguri trying to go for a quick basket, but gets fouled by Foley, which I'm a little surprised about. I thought I was going to give that to Brandon.
I think Brandon was behind Foley, so Foley probably didn't realize Brandon was behind him and just decided to foul hard to try and stop the bucket. As at least the first free throw is missing. Oh, both of them. That's a great foul then from Foley.
Yeah, very rare misses there to be seen.
Not a
But
great
we get a quick
offensive
boom.
possession though for him.
Yeah, not able to utilize it. So we're now back to an opportunity for the East to go back up to 9 as Linwood trying to utilize that paint, and she will do just that, laying it up and in. As Linwood, 22 points, 10 for 14 so far in this game. She's had a stellar game so far in this All-Star game.
Yeah, now for the East, it's been Linwood and Kataguri, both above 20 now. And a quick layup back for the West. They're looking to break 100 shortly as Lopez matching Francois on the other side.
Yeah, right now, Carter trying to look for some kind of opening there, but might have to dish it out. Does so for Kataguri, but Kataguri getting defended well by Brandon, and Brandon is starting to finally try to find some footing, defensively at least. As right now, Orbendorfer is able to lay it up and in. So the West actually starting to close things down a little bit as we're about halfway through the final quarter of this game.
Yeah, I expect to see the bench, though, be given some minutes here in a minute, and we'll have to see how they match up. And it's tap back, not able to convert as Kataguri knew she couldn't get the rebound with two defenders around her, so just tried to get the cheeky tap back, but thankfully it rattled out for the West.
Yeah, right now, Oberndorfer wanted to use her size to her advantage, but it's not going to go down this time. So the East has a chance to extend it once again, trying to keep that cushion afloat as we get it past the Kataguri, and Kataguri right now is not getting any kind of answers within the paint as she gets like double, sometimes triple teamed to prevent her from scoring.
Well, they figured it out. Just put two defenders on her and you're good. As Amato from beyond the arc rattles out. Could have brought it back within two there had it fallen.
Yeah, but with that miss, the West still need to continue to try and keep the pressure defensively as Linwood does dish it over to Carter. Carter trying to get by her defender, and she will do that and will get fouled, and Lopez is furious on that call.
I think she's furious about the fact that Carter got such a great look. I mean, she just kind of the frog slid away from Lopez and essentially just did a layup.
Yeah, and now with the old school three-point play from Carter, the East are up by 8 once again, and the West will have no choice but to call a timeout here.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see some subs just to give the starters a chance to catch their breath, get some fresh legs on the floor. Because, again, pace has been the main factor we've seen change every time the bench comes in the game. But then again, might finish it out with the starters.
Yeah, that could be the case. Right now, Foley does this just over to Lopez, who decides to pull it back. But right now, a lot of passing along the arc as Brandon might be trying to look for an open fur, but instead dishes over to Lopez for possibly a three-point, and she will do just that, and it's going to go in and out this time as Linwood does get the rebound.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier I wanted to see more threes, but yeah, Brandon needs to. Oh, still somehow missing it, but Angel blocked, rejected, and now a jump ball, and a little bit of ticky-tacky pushing
there.
Yeah,
a little bit of tussling here, but I think Kataguri has a little bit of a size advantage on this one, and that pretty much sums it up for this one as the East will partake with possession, but not a lot of time on the shot clock here. As right now, tough defensive effort, tough shot, it's in and out, and Orbendorfer will get the rebound. As right now, Fiorella has a chance to possibly cut this deficit back down to 2 possessions. If the basket is made, but heads over to Wolfgang, we'll have to go for the mid-range, and it's not going to be good this time. So not really much going on there when it came to a game plan for that one. As we get a pass over to Francois. Francois lays it up and in.
Double-digit lead once again. The East. I feel like they have at least 6 or 7 people with double-digit score here tonight.
Yeah, it just seems like a lot of the offensive really taking advantage within the paint as Lopez will able to get by her defender and go ahead and get that teardrop in. So the West does cut it back within single digits with that one. 109 to 101, very high scoring affair as both teams are trying to, the East trying to close this out here with these next couple of baskets as Carter going for a mid-range, and it's going to be in and out this time as Lopez does get the rebound.
Yeah, Carter struggling a bit here, ever since her injuries early in the season has, been trying to find her footing again in her rookie year.
Shot's good. Hit.
Yeah, and right now Fiorella does get does draw the foul, so she will have a chance for an old school 3-point play representing the Excavators, and she will do just that. And now the West back down by 5 again, so they need to get a stop here in order to really make this game interesting, as we are now under 3 minutes in the rookie challenge. And we get a nice block there from Oberndorfer. The Demon showing what she can do defensively with that one.
And now West a chance to get it back, get it a little closer. Fading away is no good.
Yeah, that was not the best shot that Oberndorfer could have made there. And right now, once again, Kamalu trying to get her home crowd pumped up for that one, and she makes that basket. And right now, the East is looking like that they may have taken away with that one, as they're now up by 7. I mean, of course, anything can happen within 2 minutes. We'll just see how the West responds.
Yeah, you almost have to get a 3 or a quick basket and a stop. And we are going to see the 3 attempt from Foley. Rattles out, no good. Oberndorfer able to clean it up, though, and put it back. So at least walking away with points.
Yeah, that's all you really need there, is they are now once again back down to 5. But Category that was just some lazy defense there from Brandon at that point. Like, Category just went right by him.
Yeah, and again, the quick fatigue may be starting to factor in, but it also feels like the situation feels a little hopeless for the West, as even though Oberndorfer will again do the exact same drawn up play, gets by the defender and battles for the rebound. She stepped it up this quarter. 8 points, almost half of her points have come this quarter.
Yeah, and honestly, you wonder if things were a little bit different here if Oberndorfer didn't have that foul trouble earlier in the game, as we see a nice spin move, finger roll move for Francois, as Francois has cooled down quite a bit in the second half, but probably put the icing on that one with that basket, as Foley once again hands it over to Oberndorfer. This time, Oberndorfer trying to lay it up, but does get her own miss. Instead, dishes it over to Foley. And we see a 3-second violation on the West side. So it will be the East ball, and that pretty much will seal it here with that turnover.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, the East can burn, unless the West comes up for a foul, they're going to burn 16 seconds off this clock, leaving only 2 possessions left. But no, they want to keep the aggression going as Linwood attacks the basket, pushing it to 9. Still a 3-possession game here, but the margin of error is practically 0 for the West now.
Yeah, they're probably going to need a basket, and that's not going to happen here. So, yeah, that will definitely do it, as the East have really took control, but a quick miss there as Lopez trying to go coast to coast, and it's not going to go down this time. But yeah, the East really just using that speed as Category, who is easily probably the player of the game on this one, as she slams it home for the home crowd.
Yeah, and I think they're going to burn the clock out now. 119 to 108 will probably be the final score here. And honestly, like I said, Linwood and Category leading the way for the East. We'll have to see how the final score broke down with the rest of the players. But the East come out on top in the first game of the Rookie All-Star Weekend. We'll have to see if the All-Stars are able to take it back to the West or if the East walks away with a complete victory. As
Yeah. Whew, category just really just showed her stuff. Just took full control. 31 points and 14 rebounds. And of course, Linwood with 24 points herself as well. The two ladies really getting it done for this game.
yeah, I mean, coming even some players coming off the bench, Alex Squared getting 10 points, Violet 9. You know, no one had trouble scoring here tonight on the East, and it was shown by their high field goal percentage. As even Tejon got a block with his chest, just jumping.
Yeah, for sure. And I think one of the big things about it is just like the amount of speed within this game and how well that all of these players have done as we go over to the West, as Lopez and Foley were leading the fray here, as well as Orbendorfer late in the fourth quarter. But it wasn't enough here, as it just seems like that they were pretty much like outpaced every step of the way ever since the third quarter started.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we saw the beginnings of in the second quarter where the pace got picked up and the West was able to keep in stride for a little bit there, but eventually, and I feel like the bigs were the problem, is that, Kategori was allowed to just run up and down the court unopposed for the most part just because of her speed. And the big bodies of the West just weren't able to keep up with her, and the game just got away from them from there.
Yeah, and I have to say, as the host of Bangor, you have to love to see this. Really seeing like pretty much the young front court having these two ladies really kind of going into fray as we do look at some as most of the stats here for the game overall. It's just been a really fantastic showing for both Kategori and Kamalo, especially on Kategori's end.
Oh, no doubt. And the field goal percentage kind of started to level out there at the end. Still a significant difference. Obviously, the West got a little help with their more threes and hitting the extra trips to the free throw line. But you see the fast break differential um, uh, clearly in the favor, 28-2. So,
Yeah, 100%. A
uh,
lot of those second chance opportunity, and it wasn't even from turnovers, just turnovers either. It was just from missed opportunities and a lot of the Eastern players just bolting onto the other side of the court. So it certainly was a great showing here for both sides. But of course, we're just getting a little bit of a taste of the young stars in the future. But now it's time for some of the big firsts to come into play tomorrow as we get to see the All Stars for this year come into fruition. I'm very excited to see how that goes.
I am too, Marcus. Any final words before we head out for the night?
Well, I gotta say that this has been a very rocking All Star week so far, and these young guys killed it, and I can't wait to see what goes on in the future. But right now, I'm looking forward to see what this All Star game is like.
Yeah, thank you once again for tuning in, everyone. I've been Ryan Eastman. That was Marcus Baylor, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.